Thinking of packing hangers or your favorite coffee maker for your next cruise? Think again. Some items can clutter your cabin, create safety issues, or even get confiscated at the port. Today, I'll break down 10 things you're better off leaving at home and give you some smart alternatives to make your packing easier. Stick around to make sure your bags are filled with what you need, not what you don't. Ahoy, travelers! It's Amy here to help you make your travel experience a success. While some items are no-brainers to leave at home when cruising, like weapons, there are others you might not realize should stay behind. Now here's my list of 10 items that you may be tempted to pack but really don't need on board. Trust me, you'll thank me for the extra luggage space. Number 1, hangers. It's easy to think you'll need to bring hangers for extra organization, but cruise ship cabins already come with a reasonable number of hangers. The supplied hangers are usually sturdy, often made of wood, and fit well without overloading the closet. So not packing your own hangers saves you both space and weight. If you find you need more, you can just ask your room steward. They'll bring extras without a problem. We have never had to ask for extra hangers, and instead we get creative with how we hang clothes, often putting more than one item on a hanger. We could absolutely ask for more, but just never have bothered doing so. Besides, I find that if you have empty hangers in the closet, they can end up clacking together in the middle of the night if the ship is sailing through choppy waters. Number 2, a hairdryer. So bringing your own hairdryer is something many people consider, especially if they prefer more power to their hairdryer. However, almost every cruise cabin comes with a basic hairdryer that's adequate for daily styling needs. So power outlets are limited, and using a high wattage dryer can even trip the power in some cabins. Now, I'm a firm believer in being able to adapt to things like using the cruise line provided hairdryer for 1 week. It isn't forever. Most people can manage. Now with my curly hair, I have a very nice hairdryer with an attached diffuser, but instead of packing something that large, I have instead purchased a collapsible diffuser that then fits on most dryers. If you have to have a more powerful hairdryer, then there are travel ones that you could purchase that won't take up as much room in your luggage. And for those who may be wondering, yes, you can bring curling irons, wands, and straighteners. Number 3, an iron or steamer. So clothes irons and steamers might seem like must-bring items to keep clothes wrinkle-free, but these are actually banned for safety reasons. They pose a significant fire hazard. Cruise ships are just not wired for them. Some cruise ships offer self-service laundry rooms with irons that guests can use, and if not, they often provide a pressing service for a small fee. So to prevent wrinkles without an iron, try rolling your clothes when packing them. I always pack a travel-sized bottle of Downy wrinkle release spray, which can be very effective, especially if you hang up your clothes as soon as you get to the cabin and give them a little spritz right away. Don't wait until an hour before you want to wear that dress to bring out the Downy wrinkle releaser. You also hanging your clothes up in the bathroom when showering can steam out some of those stubborn wrinkles as well. Personally, I just find it's easier to pack clothes that don't wrinkle. That way I don't have to worry about it. Number 4, coffee makers and kettles. So if you're like many cruisers, you might crave your own coffee setup, but coffee makers and kettles generally aren't allowed due to the risk of fire. At least not when it comes to bringing your own from home. Don't worry though. Cruise ships usually have coffee stations around the ship so you can go grab a cup of coffee. Some are even available 24/7. Many lines also offer coffee as part of a free continental room service menu. If you're one of those who needs a cup of coffee before you get ready for the day, that's a great option. Some lines offer coffee packages if you're looking for specialty coffees. I know I prefer iced coffee, so I always head on down and grab one of those in the morning from the coffee cafe. Many British and European lines will provide kettles and sometimes even coffee makers in their cabins. We had a little mini coffee maker in our balcony cabin on MSC. If your cabin doesn't automatically come with one, you may find that you can ask your room steward for one. Sometimes that's more of a thing that you can get if you're like in a balcony cabin or above, but it doesn't ever hurt to ask. And if you want to indulge a little bit, you could pack your own coffee sachets or tea bags for convenience and then just go and get some hot water at one of the beverage stations. Number 5, beach towels. Packing your own beach towel may feel like a necessity, especially when sailing in an itinerary with lots of beaches to explore, but it's unnecessary and takes up a lot of space when you're packing. Cruise lines provide beach towels for guests, which you can take with you on shore excursions. These towels are large, durable, and can be easily swapped for fresh ones. Most lines will also have towel huts where you can then check out extra towels or exchange towels whenever necessary. Just remember to return them, as lost towels sometimes come with a replacement fee, and those are hefty, more than you'd pay for a normal beach towel. This allows you to save on suitcase space and have one less wet item to pack on your way home. So if you still want to pack your own beach towels, consider getting one that is lightweight, quick dry, and sand free. These are thin and can also be used as a light blanket for cool places on the ship or maybe while you're flying on a plane. So number 6, alcohol. Bringing alcohol on board can seem tempting, especially if you have a favorite wine or spirit. But cruise lines usually have strict limits on bringing alcohol, and they're getting very good at finding the hidden alcohol. So I would just not do that. Most lines will allow 1 bottle of wine or champagne if they allow anything, and you'll even be charged a corkage fee if you want to enjoy it in public areas. So drinks are readily available on board, and drink packages cover a wide range of options, making it easy to enjoy your favorite cocktail without sneaking anything past security. If you prefer cocktails over wine, you can get creative with that bottle of wine that you are allowed to bring on board and spice it up with some fruit from the buffet and have yourself a nice sangria. If you are considering a drink package, I have a video that you're going to want to check out, and I will link that in the description below. Number 7, candles. Now, candles might seem like a great way to add a little ambiance, but they're a huge no-no on cruise ships due to the risk of fire. The same goes for incense. Ships are built with lots of fire precautions, and candles simply aren't compatible with those safety measures. Instead, try a battery-powered LED candle, which can add the same relaxing atmosphere without the open flame. They even have ones with flames that flicker like a real candle. Now, we always bring some inexpensive battery-operated tea lights to put in our bathroom. We use those as night lights so that we don't have to turn on the overhead light in the middle of the night. Very convenient. Number 8, expensive jewelry. So packing your best jewelry for formal nights may sound appealing, but high-value items can bring more stress than enjoyment. So cruise cabins often have safes, but they aren't always large, nor are they foolproof. So between excursions, beach days, and other activities, losing or damaging valuable jewelry is a real risk. So instead, consider bringing more affordable pieces. And I know my mother has purchased a fake wedding ring for like $10 that she brings with her when we cruise. It looks great, and who cares anyway? I know I'm not paying enough attention to people's jewelry to know or care if it's worth $20 or $20,000. Another option is to keep things simple and elegant with just smaller items that aren't going to be missed if you lose them. This way, you're free to enjoy the cruise without the worry. Number 9, surge protected power strips. So power strips are great for extra outlets, but surge protected ones are banned on cruise ships because they can interfere with the ship's electrical system. Instead, look for non-surge protected travel power strips or USB hub that's cruise approved. These will give you the extra charging capability you need without the hassle of having it confiscated. So just make sure it's compact and doesn't take up too much outlet space. Power is limited in most cabins. Now, I prefer to take a USB hub and outlet combo that also is attached to a longer cord. Now, I have heard other cruise content creators state that those will be confiscated, but that's never happened to me, nor do the majority of cruise lines' banned item list mention those. I like having the extra length from the cord as it allows me a little bit more leeway in where I set up my charging station. Recently, however, Royal Caribbean has banned multi-plug outlets, but they do still allow multi-USB hubs. So from what I've heard, some people are still getting by with bringing a multi-plug, but you do risk it being confiscated. Another way to gain an outlet while cruising is to have a converter that allows you to convert the European outlet into accepting North American plugs. Almost every cruise line ship will have a European outlet there. Now, I have one of these that has multiple conversion options, which I found very useful when on my last trip, as I needed both the European and UK options during our trip. And finally, number 10, camouflage clothing. Now, this one may surprise you, but camouflage clothing is actually banned in some Caribbean destinations. It's reserved for their military use only, and they don't allow anybody else to wear it. So you will literally be marched right back on that ship, and you will not be allowed to cross into the port. Now, while it's fine to wear it on the ship, certain ports restrict and prohibit that camo, and wearing it would cause issues with local authorities. This includes camouflage hats, bags, and backpacks, so it's not just clothes. While I am guessing that many of you don't even own camo, if you live in the Ozarks like I do, I'm pretty sure that you're just issued one item of camouflage clothing at birth. People wear it all the time, especially men, even when they're not hunting. So this is a warning for all of those camo wearing people out there. So to avoid any awkward encounters, just skip the camo. Don't even pack it. There's other casual options that you can pack that's not going to get you in any trouble. Well, let me know in the comments what you pack and what you leave behind on your cruises. Let's start a conversation. If you're curious what items you should consider packing, why not stick around and check out this video where I go over items I pack for a Caribbean cruise and then come back for more information designed to help you have an amazing cruise. Have a blessed week, everyone.